Well, Sunday was an incredible day here at our church, and I know it was just an inspiring time for me. I hope it was for you. I hope you were able to be here where we were able to say thank you to UTA for the partnership that we have with them and with the city here in downtown Arlington. I was so glad to have President Spagnola and Vice President John Hall, as well as some other faculty members and staff members from UTA present with us. And also we had Coach Cross and the men's basketball team. So it was just a great day. It was a fun day. It was a great day of fellowship, and I was just grateful to be there for it. And as you know, I've just come in from Africa, so I flew in that Saturday night and was back in church on Sunday morning. And naturally, we were addressing one of the most complex topics that we're ever going to talk about on that day. After I'd been flying or in airports for 31 hours previous, we began to discuss the Trinity on Sunday morning. Cindy asked me, what were you thinking planning that sermon on that day? But actually it worked out really well, because while we were in West Africa, we spent a lot of time discussing the Trinity. You know that our church has sent Ben and Melissa to live in West Africa, and they're working among the Fulani people. And the Fulani people, they're the largest migratory people group in the world. And they are classified as an unreached people group. What that means is there's really no church planting movement among the Fulani that's substantial, and less than 2% of the population is Christian, and that's certainly true of the Fulani. Probably less than 1% of the Fulani all over the world would be classified as Christian. And so Ben and Melissa have been sent by our church to live among them, and they're doing an incredible job. We had a great time with them, and we went from place to place to place to place, from village to village to village in these rural settings in West Africa, to have conversations with people, to teach the Bible, and just to have fellowship. We have new believers there, and we also spent a lot of time talking with the Islamic folks as well. One of the topics that we discussed was the Trinity. And if you know anything about Islam, you know that Muslims really struggle with how Christians have embraced a Trinitarian understanding of God. And what I tried to share with the Muslims in particular during the time I was with them in West Africa is that we haven't just embraced a Trinitarian view of God. That's how God has revealed Himself. And as I shared with these men, we don't have the luxury of crafting God in an image that makes sense to us. All we can do is worship and believe in the God who's revealed Himself. And as I read the biblical text and as I've studied Christian theology, God's revealed Himself as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So Sunday morning we talked about that, and we tried to just unpack that a little and at least help all of us have a better and deeper understanding of what we really mean when we say that we believe in the Trinity, that we believe that God is complex, that He's one in His essence, but He also has revealed Himself as three persons. And so I hope that was a beneficial time for you. You know, I'm writing right now an interactive Bible study that I hope will be completed soon, the first section at least, on the doctrine of God. And in that Bible study, I plan to address some of what we talked about on Sunday morning, so that you can have the opportunity for yourself to just spend some time exploring what it really means when we say that we do believe in the Trinity as Christians. Our daily Bible readings this week, I hope, will reinforce that for you as well, as we look at some of the teachings of Jesus, some of the claims that Jesus has made for Himself that were incredibly controversial in the first century. And as I have spent time among a group of folks who are Islamic in their orientation, those statements by Jesus are still very controversial. And so I hope that it's been encouraging to you to just explore your understanding of God more extensively, and I hope that we'll all come to a deeper and richer understanding of who God is. I would also tell you that one of the things that really encouraged me while I was in Africa is just the reminder that the gospel transcends cultural barriers. That even though there are some things about us that are very different, when I'm standing in a remote village in West Africa, the lifestyle of the people, some of the teachings that they've received through the years, some of the daily demands of their lives, some of just the challenges of everyday living in that harsh environment, a lot of those things are just incredibly different than my everyday experience. But what I also was reminded of, though, is that there are some things that we hold in common just as human beings. There's the longing of a person's soul. There's the desire to believe that my life counts. There's the desire to believe that my life has some level of significance. There's a quest for truth. There's a hunger for knowing who God really is. And all of that transcends all the trappings of culture. And it really gets right down to the point of what it really means to be a human being in the first place. And so I'm so glad that the gospel message that we were proclaiming and sharing and teaching and preaching is a message that transcends all of that and speaks deeply into the hearts of people. And so that's why we saw people respond to this message, and they're continuing to respond to it. So I just want to encourage you as a part of First Baptist, let's keep praying. Let's keep praying for the Fulani. Today is my day of prayer and fasting for the Fulani. And so this is a day where I'm going to be praying for them specifically, that God would open their hearts and give them an ability to understand the truths of the gospel, that God would strengthen the believers that we have there, that God would bless the work of Ben and Melissa and our other partners among the Fulani in particular. So I hope you'll join me in praying for the Fulani, that God will reach them with this wonderful gospel. So I love you. I'm glad to be back home, and I'm looking forward to the rest of 2012 here at First Baptist Arlington.